Hey everyone, welcome to Cookbook Club. I'm Hannah. Today we're going to be talking about the Cookbook, a super upsetting cookbook about sandwiches by Tyler Cord. He's the chef of Number 7 Sub in New York City. I really enjoy this cookbook. Cord has some really unique, innovative recipes. And it's also just super entertaining to read. So throughout his recipes, he kind of goes on little rants and tangents about the food industry in New York City, the source of some of our food, why food is so expensive and why you should be okay paying a little bit more for your food, and also just some tangents, just some rants. It's pretty entertaining, and that's why it's called a super upsetting cookbook about sandwiches. So I really like Cord's techniques. Kind of the way the cookbook is structured is that he has some, core techniques, vegetable purees, veggie patties, deep frying, and then he builds the recipes off of those techniques. So once you master one of his techniques, the recipes are super simple. But the first time you make it, you might be like, oh, what's a cucumber mushroom? What is that? And so you just kind of have to learn, the foundation of his cooking, and then you can, mix and match and build some pretty yummy sandwiches. So just as an example, this one is called Sandwiches Fall Apart, and it's curry chicken salad, avocado, iceberg lettuce, fried squid, and lime segments. This one looks good. The shadiest one. It's cheddar, avocado ricotta, cucumber muchin, fried shallots. Gentle thoughts. Asparagus, carrot puree, shallot ginger vinaigrette, and feta cheese. So you can kind of see the variety in these sandwiches and how it's something that, I don't know, might not occur to you to put together in a sandwich, but it's absolutely delicious. And as a vegetarian, the first time I was flipping through this book, I was kind of like, oh, I don't know if I can actually make anything in this. It seems very meat heavy. But once you get a little bit farther in the book, he has quite a few vegetarian recipes. So it's a great cookbook for meat eaters and vegetarians alike. Not sure if it's great for vegans, but maybe just flip through it anyway. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started cooking. Today we're going to be making Cord's Zucchini Parmesan recipe, which, spoiler warning, was delicious. Hey, so we're going to start with Cord's Zucchini Parm recipe. We'll start by talking a little bit about the ingredients you'll need. So obviously to make zucchini parm, you'll need zucchini. So 2 large zucchini will be fine, or 4 smaller ones. You'll need fontina cheese. So, even though it's called zucchini parm, Cord decides he wants to use fontina. He makes a onion puree sauce. So you'll need about 1 pound of onion. This is probably a little bit more, but I don't mind having extra. For frying the zucchini, you're going to need, obviously, frying oil, 2 egg whites, cornstarch, and breadcrumbs. For the sandwich, Cord uses sub rolls. I got challah because that was what was available at my local grocery store. I think a soft bread is the main thing you want to keep in mind here. So I think challah will be really good. And then for dressing the sandwich, jalapeno slices. So Cord has a recipe to make your own, but today we're going to be using just the packaged stuff. And then barbecue chips. So again, if you want to make your own, I'm sure that would be even more delicious, but we're just gonna do a bag of barbecue chips. So it's gonna be pretty tasty. Can't wait to see how it turns out. So the first step is to make your onion puree. You can even do this the day before if you would like. So it's pretty simple. You're gonna wanna take your onions and chop them into, small chunks. In order to make the puree, you're gonna want your onions to cook for about 15 minutes. You don't want them to caramelize. You just want them to release their water and become tender. So if you see any caramelization action happening, turn down that heat. You're also going to want to put 1 teaspoon of salt in the pan with these bad boys. And what's cool about the vegetable puree recipe is that you can do this with really any vegetable, zucchini, squash, turnip, anything that you think would be tasty as a sauce, go for it. While your onions are sauteing, you can go ahead and start preparing your zucchini. To prepare the batter for the zucchini, take 2 eggs, separate the egg yolks from the egg whites, and then mix in 3 tablespoons of cornstarch into the egg whites. So we're gonna cut our zucchini now into 1/2 inch thick slices. Also, depending on what bread size you're using, you might want to trim them to not be as long. Okay, so now you're gonna wanna bread your zucchini for frying. So here I have 2 bowls. This is egg white and cornstarch mixture, and then this is breadcrumbs. So you're gonna start by dipping your zucchini in this mixture and letting excess drop off. Then you're gonna dip it in the breadcrumbs. And you want to be generous here. And then you're gonna lay it out on a baking sheet and let it solidify a little bit before frying. Alright, so when your onion are translucent like this and released water, then you know it's time to puree. So we're using our immersion blender to puree because we don't have a full-size blender. You can just throw this into any sort of food processor you have. Okay, so you want your sauce to be slightly thick, but easily spreadable on a sandwich. Vegetable purees are a really awesome and creative way to sub for mayonnaise. If you're just looking for something to give your sandwich a little bit of flavor, don't laugh at me, he says so in the book. My cameraman is laughing at me, but he says you can use it instead of mayonnaise, and it gives your sandwich that juicy texture and some great flavor. Okay guys, it's time for the moment of truth, frying your breaded zucchini. So be very careful. Hot oil is very painful. We're using tongs. If you have a spider, that's actually the safest way to fry, but we don't have one, so. So the oil could have been a little bit hotter on that first one. I'm gonna turn it up. But as you can see, it's bubbling. So I'm gonna let the oil heat up before I put any more in. You know, our pot is small enough, we might actually just want to do it one at a time. If you're using a larger Dutch oven, you can put a couple in at a time. Just make sure there's like an inch or so in between each piece. Okay. So you're going to want to let the oil drain off on top of a paper towel, and you're going to want to salt these to taste. Do not bite into it when it comes out of the oil, or you're going to fry your mouth open. So while that's cooling, you know, you can put a few more in there. That's what the hot oil should look like. So just go ahead and fry these bad boys up. So we're gonna go ahead and prep our sandwiches. On one side, you're gonna put a generous spoonful of onion puree. So we put the zucchini on the other side, and you're gonna wanna lay some fontina on top. I'm doing 3 slices a sandwich. If you want more or less, just do it according to preference. Okay, 3.5 slices. And now you're gonna put this in the broiler just until the cheese is melted. So I'm gonna pop this in to my broiler, which is down here. Your oven might have a different broiler situation. So just put that in for maybe half a minute tops. Just, you know, check on it, see how the cheese looks. All right, so we have melted the cheese. Now you're gonna want to, sorry. Okay, now you're gonna want to serve it with jalapeno, pickled jalapenos. You're gonna put this on the cheesy side. However many you want. If you want it spicier, obviously you can do more. And then a handful of barbecue potato chips. Oh my gosh, this is decadent. Okay, now you smush it down. Now look at that. Cheesy, spicy, fried. I bet you this is delicious. Let's take a bite. Let's see how it turned out. Give this sandwich a try.
You can request a copy of A Super Upsetting Cookbook About Sandwiches by Tyler Cord from the Ann Arbor District Library with your AADL library card. Hope you enjoyed this video.